So we are talking with Travis and Jamie Ramke, and they experienced something that some of us have probably never heard of, which is embryo adoption. And so we are talking with them about the process, but what I think is super special is that your two biological daughters, who were, you said 13 and 15 at the time, they also got in on this a little bit. So tell us how that all went down.
Yeah, they were part of the adoption home study. We shared educational information with them along through the process as well. What does it mean to adopt an embryo, and as well as the medical process that I was going to go through as a part of this. And so we brought them along on the journey. They did a road trip with us, a family vacation, as we traveled to Knoxville, Tennessee for the embryo transfer. So it was an amazing time together.
Okay, were they nervous?
They were very excited. I think their entire school knew all about this embryo transfer that was going to happen.
Because that's like middle school and high school age. And so that's very exciting to know they're going to have a new baby sibling coming around. So, and were they like, I mean, just every single step of the way just on board? And
over the moon, very excited. So it was a very, very fun journey for all of us.
I love it. That's great. Okay, so this is I love this. So Liberty is your little girl's name. She's 2 years old now.
She's 2 years old, right?
And there's a reason you named her Liberty. So who wants to share that?
Well, Liberty is really coming from freedom. You know, the family that put her up for adoption loved her and cared for her so much that she was frozen for 5 years. So think about that 5 years, and then we get to have our lives blessed with her. So frozen for 5 years, what a way to enjoy freedom other than the name of liberty.
Yeah.
And Mom could probably even add to that, but that's how it really came about. It is liberty and the freedom from being frozen a part of our lives.
Yeah. And freely given to us to love.
Yeah.
It's
right.
Amazing.
And that is what we were talking about in the break too, is just that this family, you know, they were obviously going maybe through a tough time with pregnancies and so forth too, and so they did love on her before and knew and all of that. And I just love that you shared that part about it too, because it makes a world of difference helping us understand what, you know, where this comes from. The that frozen embryo.
Yeah, they had gone through their own journey of infertility and IVF, and after building and completing their family, they wanted to do something special with their remaining embryos, and so gifting them to us was just amazing act of love.
Yeah, it is. Wow. Again, here's my goosebumps again. You know,
I still get them.
I know, my goodness. So, does she like understand and everything? I mean, you probably haven't shared with, but like her name for one. I mean, it's such a cute name for one, and super special and different than anybody else's.
We've talked to her about it. She knows that she's special. She knows that we waited years for her to be a part of our family. And the National Embryo Donation Center gave us a book that explains what embryo adoption is. And so it is about embryo adoption, but it's also about her personal story. And so there's pictures that include information about coming to our family and the process that we went through.
I love it. That's so...
We always say she was chosen in love. So
that's really special. Aww. So do you communicate with the biological parents?
We do. We do. Part of the embryo selection process or matching process is about being matched with communication styles and preferences that both the donating couple as well as the recipient couple have. And so you can have anything from closed adoption to semi-open to very open and closely involved in each other's families. So we do regularly communicate with each other.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is so awesome. My gosh. So sharing your story is very important, I feel, because there's, like I said, nobody, you know, Lisa and I didn't know about anything when I think, did I read it on Facebook? And I'm like, oh my gosh, Jamie, I've known you for, you know, a year better now, and I didn't know this about you, so, and your family. So I think just sharing it with others and to know that it's, you know, available for other people to experience as well is wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. It's been amazing, and it was something that what drew me into embryo adoption was seeing all of the personal stories of couples and families who'd been through the process before us. So it was important to us to be able to share that story too and get the news out, because it's not only about the joy that Liberty has brought to our family, but it's knowing that this is also an option for others who are struggling with infertility and for couples who have gone through IVF that may want to also consider, after they've completed their families, donating any remaining frozen embryos for others to start a life.
Jamie, Travis, thank you so very much for being with us today. We really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So coming up on today's show, the Fargo quadruplets are turning 2. We're going to get an update 1 year after they were here the last time, right after this.